so we're good.
Good?
Yes. We can sit down now. We did it, everybody.
Yeah.
We set up the technology.
So we just have to cut out part of the panel. I suggest the part with the filming.
Right, we missed some of the, that's not great. All right. So, hi everybody.
Hi, everybody.
How's it going? We are Door Monster. We're a YouTube channel that does weekly comedy sketches. We've been publishing one every Monday for a little over 2 years now. I'm Kyle Sullivan. I run most of it and do a lot of the editing and basically most of the things, actually. And then we have a whole group of people that come in and help us kind of cycle in throughout the weeks. And these are some of them. You want to start?
Yeah, I'm Joey Basham. I came on helping out with Kyle and his videos. I saw this guy was already making videos. I saw a lot of talent. I literally came up to him and was like, "Hey, I want to help. Like, let me help you." And I've been with you guys for over a year now.
Yeah.
Gosh, almost 2 years maybe.
It's been longer. It's been a little while.
But yeah.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I don't know how long I've been on the team, like 2 years, 3 years. I don't know.
You started on writers we did weekly.
I mostly act. Sometimes I help with behind the scenes work, green screen, stuff, occasional filming, stuff like that.
I'm Ian Kahn. I have known him since he started doing like beginning, and I just kept around. Like
We were in high school and I
Right.
made him do things.
I stuck around because he was doing things and I wasn't, and I just wanted part of his story. And now it's all mine. I mostly do writing stuff. I like form big concepts to give to Kyle and we'll make them better, or take his already great concepts and tweak them so that they look more like mine.
Right.
And if there's something to be done that isn't being done, I will do it, but maybe not well.
So, the reason we were doing this panel, is actually to get into Comic-Con for free, but that didn't work. It actually wasn't free. So the second reason is to teach you guys how we actually do our sketches differently than, say, proper films, because Joey and I both went to the Art Institute, which is not the greatest film school.
Yeah, he finished. I dropped out, but I learned all I could.
Yeah.
And work as a hunt, though.
What we ended up learning is if you cut out a whole bunch of the more professional parts, you can actually get things done a lot faster and learn how to be better with it along the way. So we're kind of showing you guys how to do this stuff on little to no budget and just using kind of creative workarounds to make up for general lack of equipment or necessarily experience.
No budget.
Right.
That's fantastic.
It's kind of just aiming for a balance of like good and fast and knowing where to cut corners and when to call something done and just kind of go ahead and release it and then move on to the next thing, which is actually incredibly important.
Your first tip, you know you got an order when you cut it last time and it didn't ruin anything.
Yeah.
You'll just ruin a lot of stuff figuring it out. That's basically how we do it.
So the other thing we're going to do today also is filming some parts of tomorrow's sketch, and I'm then going to go home in San Antonio and edit it before tomorrow morning, so that'll be fun. But it's turning out pretty well. We already filmed most of it back at our apartment, and we got a couple shots here, including the punchline, which we got Felicia Day to be in. So she's actually turning these videos.
Oh yeah, you guys were literally writing lines.
Were we?
I was wondering what y'all were doing, and then
Yeah.
she was like making these faces.
we were scheming, yeah.
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 So we
I
got that
freaked out. I hyperventilated on that. and then we talked about my nipples a lot. Because I like at the Q&A, like I was in my Aquaman, which is a shirtless thing, and she was like, "You need to put a shirt on for your nipples." And then at the signing, she was just like, "So your nipples are covered." And then as I was walking away, she was like, "I'm talking to this next person about your nipples." I was like, "Yay!"
I don't feel as weird now then. So that's
I know. Jeez, I should have.
So we're just going to kind of step through our process a little bit faster than we were originally intending to, although we also learned that nobody's using this room after us, so we don't have to like rush through too fast. But we'll be basically just going through our process and filming little pieces as we go, and then anybody in the audience who wants to participate, we will end up needing 2 people to actually act in it. So we can, okay, looks like it's probably you two once we get there. So to start with, you want to start us off in a second? We're going to go over our writing and brainstorming, story planning segment of how this works. And because we have kind of a small group, anybody has questions or comments at any point, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, this is the order in which things need to happen in order
Right.
for a sketch to get made,
Right.
by the way.
So, I mean, there's
The way we do it, just
Yeah.
to specify. And we do it wrong, but it works. That's the premise of this entire lesson here.
feels so wrong and it works so okay. So like we're going to be focusing on the three main things we think sort of like are absolutely bottom line necessary to make a sketch, which are the writing, the filming, and the acting. Past that, it gets a little bit more expensive.
Right.
The original title of the panel was How to Film a Comedy Sketch with a Cell Phone, 2 Friends, and $500 worth of audio equipment. That is going to scare people away.
Right.
So we're going to start with writing. The basic idea is you have to make something funny, which kind of works sometimes and usually doesn't, but you have to make it work, and this is how we do that. When we talk about comedic beats, we talk about most traditional comedy has like 3 distinct parts to how it like unfolds. You have like a setup, twist, punchline. So
Or at least it's fairly common. At least.
Fairly common,
It's,
so
it's a good starting
basic
block.
joke,
to
right?
sort of- right.
This is
Did you?
so yeah, a panda walks into a bar, goes up to the bartender, says, "Hey, I would like a vodka." Bartender says, "Well, sure, I don't see why not." And he hands him the vodka, and he says, "Okay, and a sandwich." "Sure, I'll give a panda a sandwich." He gives the panda a sandwich. The panda eats the sandwich, tidies up, then walks back, turns, takes out a shotgun, blows the bartender away, and walks out the door. And then, just as he's about to go, the waiter comes and says, "Hey, what was that?" Panda says, "Look me up in the dictionary." Goes, opens the dictionary. Panda eats, shoots, and leaves.
Wow.
Nice. Haven't heard that one.
Panda walks to the bar. Panda eats. Panda shoots. Right? 3 beats, basically.
Right, and we kind of follow that roughly for some of our sketches, at least in the beginning, when you're first mapping out how the story goes. Because it's also one thing we try to do differently, rather than just take one joke and escalate it continuously until we sort of just run it dry, which actually happens on a lot of YouTube videos. And it's not always bad. Some of the really funny ones are basically that. But we also try to tell a story through ours, and so we tend to try to structure them a similar way to writing a script or a short story or a novel or something. I actually tend to use Shakespearean structure for that, which is far too grandiose for what we do, but it actually ends up working out fairly well. And that usual story structure is you start with a sort of establishing a setting, and pre-existing conflict is something that somebody else has, has used to describe it, where it's just you create a problem that already exists, and it sort of helps draw people into it immediately without having to just...
Why are we here and why is this interesting?
Right. And then you sort of explore the opportunities offered by that concept first, and that's where you kind of go through the escalating it a little bit to the point where you're making more and more ridiculous jokes off of it. And you could keep going with it basically until the end and have 3 minutes of that. But what we try to do is in the middle, we'll take that and we'll turn it on its head again into something. We'll insert some massive change that kind of redirects the whole course of the sketch. And so, kind of like in this one, it was the guy getting impaled sort of at least amps up what the problem already was. It was the characters arguing over the rules, and then the GM introduces an absolute sort of situation, which is, hey, you're stabbed and you're dead, and then he starts arguing over that while not being dead. So
Right, he goes from arguing with his teammates to arguing with the villain.
that way, instead of just sort of harping on the same joke over and over again, we introduce we refresh it and then kind of do it a little write it out until the punchline.
Yeah, and if you do it right, you'll get to a point of sort of either it will be perfect or it will be all exhausted out, and then you just kind of tie it off with something unexpected, and that's your punchline,
Right.
more or less.
And we try to do the punchline, the hard-hitting punchline ending on every one of our videos because it kind of just turned into a thing that we did. It's not necessary. I don't think Monty Python necessarily ends with a one-liner punchline in every one of
It's
them.
not, yeah, the one-liner is what we do, but it's something that has enough weight to end it. So if it's not a one-liner, it's
Right.
something big or flashy or a callback, something that is not just one more joke. It's something at least different.
It's actually gotten to the point where we can kind of trick people because the instant cut to the ending, the logo thing, kind of helps sell it a little bit. to the point where we've actually had people comment on things saying, like, I didn't really understand this, but it sounded funny. And it's usually on ones where I didn't really think too hard about it. And I'm like, yeah, it actually wasn't very funny, but it's interesting that we can just kind of like subtly imply that it's funny in such a way that you assume that we must have done something clever.
Evolving and training.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't do that. That's not good writing. It's just interesting that it can work that way.
So we have a script here that is not bad writing.
It's an attempt at not bad writing at the very least.
So we had our five steps there, right? So we started with premise, twist, punchline, and then in between those you have after the premise you sort of explore the concept, then you change it with the twist, and then you explore again, and then you wrap up with the punchline. So 3 beats with 2 stretches in between.
Yeah.
So not nice. But
Wait, that one.
I could use that. So, our premise is that somebody has set up a gaming entertainment show, like, what was our example? Like on G4, like Nerd or something. There's a TV show that is a sort of entertainment kind of gaming journalism thing. Mm-hmm. And they've sent somebody to ComicPalooza to interview Felicia Day. But she's not there. Or we can't find her. Right. And so we have our reporter, which is me, Jackson, talking to our host, what's your name, Claire?
Claire, yeah.
Right. And so, premise, Jackson is hopelessly without Felicia Day and must continue to try to interview people. And so, for the exploration of that, we have Jackson stop random people on the side of the convention and ask them questions, hoping that they will respond just like Felicia Day would. They don't. And then, at a certain point, it becomes very obvious that the host actually doesn't care about the interview. She just wants Felicia Day's autograph. And meanwhile, some of the fans are coming back to ask questions again, not at all about Felicia Day. And our reporter has to deal with both of these at the same time, and that is our twist. And then we explore it by him just essentially getting harried and beat over the head with both of those until one of the fans takes over the broadcast and just goes for his own.
Right. And I'm playing that crazy guy. So that's going to be my part.
Congratulations.
And, right. And then our punchline is he then goes and starts asking, he ends up like taking the mic and going and asking other people random, like completely unrelated questions, including Felicia Day, who he happens to find and does not realize is relevant at all in this situation.
Yes.
So that's sort of what we're shooting, and we have a few scenes planned out that we're going to grab here. And are we doing that next, or do we have one more thing we're going to talk about before doing our example bit?
So the first is brainstorming.
We're going to do the... Oh, right. We need input from you guys. That's the next part.
Oh, yeah.
We have a couple of the lines that will be delivered by our guests will be basically answering the questions he's asking at Felicia Day just as best they can. And so we have, first we were actually going to ask for the celebrity in case we couldn't get an actual one to be in the shot, but that was taken care of. And so the other things we need are, one is a bizarre or otherwise humorous panel name or concept. So any suggestions that you guys have on something that might just sound
you flip
funny
open the
or...
ComicPalooza program and go, there's no way that's real.
Right. So we need a panel name first. Any kind of brainstorming, any kind of like...
How to eat your
any
cereal
ideas at
without
all?
a spoon.
Sure. Any further ideas?
Repurpose your toilet seat into a comic outfit.
Oh,
There you
nice.
go. I like that one. All right.
Toilet seat cosplay.
Here, you want to shorthand it?
toilet seat
I don't know how to use that pen. Toilet seat cosplay.
Repurpose your toilet seat cosplay. Yeah.
Into
Why Star Trek is better than Star Wars, and anyone disagrees, we right.
Cool.
that sounds like an actual panel.
It does actually.
It was a Star Wars versus Star Trek panel where it was literally an open mic roasting session.
Oh my
We
gosh.
also did a DC versus Marvel and a Homestuck versus My Little Pony. That was the most hilarious one.
That sounds like that would get the most dirty. Like,
Oh
would
yeah,
get
there was
upset.
actual security there. It was hysterical.
So we have a couple. Any other suggestions on that one?
Any panel suggestions?
Good. Okay. So the next one is we need a movie project or cause that's weird for the celebrity to be promoting, because he asks like, "What kind of thing are you promoting?" and then just grabs a random person, and it's just they're answering something that they might be doing. but something that preferably makes no sense for Felicia Day to be promoted whatsoever, and also hopefully does not insult her in any way.
Right. It needs to be funny, but
Because we
not so
plan
much
on
that she'll
tweeting
sue
this
us.
video at her, so.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line.
It is.
Hanging out support club.
I like that.
I'm interested in the
I need
scenes
to
later.
be in this too.
D20s for underprivileged kittens.
Oh.
Turtle wax.
What?
Turtle wax.
Turtle.
Turtle wax. We can run that. What about turtle wax? There's lots of turtle wax support organizations. What makes your turtle wax support organization the best or unusual?
Vegan turtle wax.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I think there's actually a built-in art Sally selling.
Never mind.
Write it down. Write it down. He's probably already selling that.
I think John would like that.
I like that a lot, actually.
How about vegan
Vegan
deep
turtle
fried
wax.
turtle wax?
So many implications there.
Deep
All right.
fried vegan turtle.
All right, cool. All right, good. Congratulations. You've completed the brainstorming part.
Now you feel included and not like we used you for our work.
Yep, that's not what's happening. So,
We haven't leached off your brilliance.
next part,
no.
Joey.
Oh, is this me?
Yes, this is the production
All
part.
right, so you guys got your script, you got your idea, now you got to film it. And as we all know, there's some really simple tricks to making a film look good that doesn't distract you. So the things about a lot of these shots is you need it to flow well, so you're not focused on those rough cuts. You're more focused on the jokes.
Right.
And it flows nice and smooth.
Basically, if you're noticing the shots, they probably aren't great.
Right.
The editing shouldn't actually be
they're
seen.
amazing.
Or they're
Shouldn't see the
amazing.
editing.
But we're not covering amazing, we're covering good enough.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
We don't use a lot of star wipes here.
Right.
But you know, there's some really simple tricks that are great for any amateur photographer, videographer, anywhere. But is anybody familiar with the rule of thirds? Does anybody know what that means?
Like 1/3 of your composition should be taken up by your subject or not by your subject.
Right. The best way is just to imagine these two imaginary lines over your focal point.
This might die. Didn't think about that.
Video.
I plugged it in.
Just imagine there's two lines. There's one line right here, and there's one line right here. You want your subject on one of those lines.
And the
You
other
don't
way
want them
too.
Right in the middle.
Horizontally and vertically.
Right.
But you
yeah,
can see that's how we
same
we
thing.
split up the chat there, right?
But the trick is to focus your heavy person right here or right here, and then have your scenery in the background. So that's when you're taking pictures of someone that's standing in front of like a monument or something. You don't want them right in front of the monument because then they're blocking the monument. You want them to the side, and they have the monument on this side.
Right.
So that's what the rule of thirds are. So.
Or in movies, if you have a close-up shot of somebody's face while they're talking, you'll specifically see them facing the empty part of the frame. They'll be on, say, the right side facing left, and the left side will be empty because the, good job. Here's our nice little
Yeah, there you
illustration.
go.
The direction somebody is looking implies weight in that direction because you psychologically know there's something that they're looking at. So if you had them like up against the side of the frame and then looking off and there's a bunch of blank space behind them, it makes the shot look unbalanced.
Which sometimes you can do on purpose to make
Right.
things seem uneasy or wrong.
It's one of those
or-
situations where it's like knowing the rules helps you break them properly.
Yeah.
Right.
One
person that does that a lot, if you see a lot of Wes Anderson movies, he doesn't do the rule of thirds at all. He's
Right.
very
Center frame, right?
Yeah, center frame, symmetrical.
Everything's symmetrical.
Shots, everything's right in the
So
middle.
cool.
It goes outwards. And then there's other little tips like you know how we read left to right. That's the same when you look at videos and things like that. TV. If someone's going somewhere, they're more commonly moving on the screen from left to right.
Right.
When they're leaving somewhere, they tend to go right to left. It's because in our subconscious,
in
we-
Western movies, interestingly, because that
Western
does
movies,
actually
right? 'Cause
change.
then you get animes, Japanese stuff like that, because they're reading this backwards. It's the opposite. So the next time you see a movie, pick up those little things. You'll notice the rule of thirds. You'll notice whatever you call that. Leading
Leading look is
Leading
what the
look,
people who
right.
name these things call it.
That's because somebody needed some glamour in their life.
Leading look.
I've got a leading look.
So, as a quick demonstration that isn't entirely easy to see because of the way we had this set up, Ian and I are going to quickly do a couple of takes of one of the shots we need based on we needed to know the celebrity name and we weren't sure who it was going to be, but now we do. So we're going to perform one shot ourselves really quick, and then Rachel will be going over like acting tips, and then we will bring up our guests to do some quick shots with Ian as well. Any questions so far while we're setting this up? Feel free to ask Rachel because she's.
Oh.
What was that? These cost $45 from a government surplus store. Yeah.
No.
You're too close to the screen to be over here. Yeah. These are new fancy ones that I finally got for like I think $150, $200 on these. These are like the newest ones we've gotten after 3 years of doing this.
So, Rachel, you actually just gave me a line beforehand.
Huh? Yeah.
So-
Where are we starting?
If you have page 1 over there,
How do I do?
you look for the number.
Yes, page 1.
Yes.
So you're grabbing me, pulling me in. I ask about the new Joker.
Right. What's our touchstone for the today? I'm just gonna say Dr. Horrible.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, just kind of say what you want, and then I just kind of rant. Okay.
Right.
So am I starting with actually I can't just audio on this side?
Actually, you need to. It's pretty darn chat.
I think so.
Do you need I don't where are we starting?
Hmm?
Where are we starting?
It should be the last line there. It should just be something like.
Is it the As ComicPalooza has grown that one?
I'm apparently responding.
It's your
should
last
be-
line on that page.
It should just be, is she there with you, or something like that.
I think I have a different page than you.
Lessons of page 1.
Pro tip: number your script pages.
Actually, there's a program called Celtics. If any of you are script writers and don't know about that, it's CELTX. It's free and does all that for you.
Whoa! Whoa! One of
Crap, did it?
our lights just came out.
Was that
It exploded.
no?
Don't trust the government surplus.
So this happens about once every, I don't know what, like 30 or 40 sketches. So it would be this one.
It's okay. This has happened so often. I have more bulbs.
Okay.
Actual tip: when something breaks, buy 2 more.
Oh.
Hey.
Yay, light.
It's smoking.
Let there be light.
It is still smoking. That's correct.
It's smoking.
That's alright.
Is it? Okay, right. Well, let's switch sides.
Okay.
Hopefully the other one doesn't go out before we're done.
Jackson, can you ask our guest how they feel about being here?
Absolutely, I can, because she is so very in attendance right here, right now, that I can ask her the question just like you suggested, because she's right here. Felicia Day, how have you been enjoying your time in Houston?
Felicia Day, that's the new Joker, right?
No, Dr. Horrible Single One.
Look. Forgot it. I ruined it. Okay.
It's an avant-garde writing style, but we're
Right.
gonna
Okay. Try that again.
Okay. Jackson, can you ask our guest how they feel about being here today?
Absolutely, I can, because she is so very in attendance right now that I can ask her that question that you suggested, because she is right here. Hey, Miss Felicia Day.
Good try. All right, third time will work.
Okay.
Hey, quick question, Kyle. Do you think the harsh line on the green is going to be a problem later?
It depends on how harsh it is. Usually it's not, because the harsh line is also green, so it's not.
Just a dark green.
As long as it's fine.
Okay.
It's not a professional setup, but it works.
We're still rolling.
Yeah.
All right. Jackson, can you ask our guest how they feel about being here today?
Absolutely, I can, because she is so very in attendance that she is right here, right now, and I will ask her that question that you suggested. Miss Felicia Day, how have you been enjoying your time here in Houston?
Is Felicia Day the new Joker?
No, she's just from Dr. Horrible Single One.
Look, the oh my god.
Alright, can I take it back?
Yeah. I apologize.
This is normal.
I'm
You're
tired.
saying normal.
It is. But I was trying to not do it normally and make it look like we're better.
I wanted to look cool in front of the cool people.
Okay. All right. Got it. This time. I got it.
You think I should be doing anything different?
You're doing fine.
I've got
All
blotting
me.
papers
I'm the only
and
one
stuff.
messing up.
And ready.
Jackson,
can you ask our guest how they feel about being here today?
Absolutely, I can, because she is so very in attendance that she is right here next to me. That's how in attendance, and just here for the question that you suggested I ask, which is Miss Felicia Day. How have you been enjoying your time here in Houston?
Felicia Day, is that the new Joker?
Oh, she's Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Boss.
Tired of all these new angsty Jokers, man. Jack Nicholson, OG. There we go. All right. Let's do one more. I'm gonna adjust the microphone position real fast. Okay. Joey, could you flip the off switch on that the speaker just in case that's somehow like interfering with something?
I'm gonna push you this time.
Yeah.
Push you a bit.
Yeah.
Do you want me to cut it or do you want me to keep going?
No, keep going.
All right.
Is that in jet?
No.
Cool.
Well, I mean, kind of. It's just like a little robot key. It's a little small.
Where is it?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just the tip.
Right here?
Move down a little bit. There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good,
hot
okay.
dog man.
Now the handle's in it now.
Oh no. That's ridiculous.
Do the whole thing. There you go.
Yes, adjustable stand.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay, we have the technology. All right.
It's like a good take. We try to get like 2 or 3 actual usable takes just to make sure that when we're editing, like if one actually doesn't end up looking that good, we have something to choose from.
Yeah, like if the microphone's in or something weird. Okay.
All right, so roll.
Jackson, can you ask our guest how they feel about being here today?
Absolutely, I can, because she is so very in attendance, and she is right here beside me, that I can ask that question that you suggested, because she is right here. Miss Felicia Day, how have you been enjoying your time in Houston?
Felicia Day, the new Joker.
She's from Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Blog.
I'm tired of all these new angsty Jokers, man. Jack Nicholson, OG. All right, we got it. We're good.
All right.
That's nice.
Thank you very
We should do this all the time. That's great. Now I won't remember that I screwed up 4 times. Okay.
All right, I'm going to turn these off for now so they don't burn themselves out.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Them hurting themselves.
Is it my turn to talk about acting now?
Yes. So
Right.
that was our attempt at acting. It's not real acting, but it's what Rachel's about to explain
Okay.
right now.
So, I'm going to talk about acting as a total amateur with no acting training, okay? No theatrical
That
background.
is the panel you have signed up for.
Just I'm an extrovert, but that's about as good as it. So, anyways, so basically, here's some tips. Once you and your friends have written a fantastic, funny comedy script, what you're gonna do is before you film, you don't do this like days in advance, just like on the day of filming, take your script and read it, I would say twice. Be familiar with who you're gonna play and read their lines in your head, and try and hear the lines in a couple different voices. Kind of imagine what it actually might sound like if you were to read them out loud, or else you will have trouble reading them out loud in a voice that sounds like a human being and not a robot. At least if you're me, that you might have that problem. So that's some tips for basically prepping, because there's not a lot of prep that goes into this. Like, we don't really memorize our lines in advance.
Right. I was going to say, it's also worth noting that we don't act the way you're supposed to, which is you memorize your lines and then you play through a scene while the camera's rolling, because that's part of, actually a really big part of how we do things quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody memorizes their lines. We show up with the script and we point a camera at somebody's face and we go, this is your line, say that, and then they do. And then we say, here's your next line, do that one.
Yeah.
And then we do that for each individual person, and then I cut it all together in the end so that it looks like an actual conversation happened.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible for everybody involved. It is.
Except for the editor, very convenient for the editor, because you
Yeah.
can just cut out all the takes in order and it's super easy to do.
What it does give us a lot is options, variations,
Right.
different ways to cut it together if we
Mhm.
want. And we don't
But
have
we-
to spend time memorizing lines.
But sometimes we have occasions where we do like super lengthy bits in the middle, like that 4-sentence exchange right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where this kind of thing comes in handy for.
Yeah. So
My
you do-
favorite was, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, you do need to be familiar with your lines, insofar as they need to stay in your short-term memory long enough for you to deliver them in, like, I don't know, 5 takes, like in different voices. And it's okay if you don't get them exactly to the wording of the script, unless you have a director who's picky about that, which we don't, so picky Kyle, and Ian sometimes, but, yeah, it's basically trying to get them out.
Cool.
Okay. So my main problem when I'm acting, and I think a lot of people have this problem, is that I tend to get too caught up in my head. So I'm thinking too hard about like ways I'm going to deliver the line, how I'm going to make it sound good. And this makes me sound like not a person. So.
That's my motive.
Yeah, like I'm thinking too hard about it, and I'm worried about failing.
Backstory.
A lot of times. So there's a lot of ways you can get caught up in your head and deliver a line in kind of a wooden sounding way. So I have tips for overcoming this that I have implemented recently to improve my acting overall. Number one, like I said, be familiar with your line. The less you're thinking about trying to get through the line, the more you can kind of just be in the moment and say your line authentically. Number two, don't be afraid to fail and say it stupidly. The more you're concentrating on like your own anxieties, the more anxious your line's gonna come out. Yeah.
Usually, if it comes out sounding kind of weird, it's probably the best one, also because it's the most natural sounding one. But in the moment, it feels like that's the one that was like off, kind of.
But like weird in the good,
Right.
in the good way.
Right.
That means you're acting.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
You sound exactly like
if you're like, I'm embarrassed, that felt too much like real me, it probably was great.
Yeah, if you feel like you're being a little too vulnerable with yourself, it's probably good. Another tip, actually have fun when you're there. Be like really in the moment, like, and perform externally. Like, don't be too much in your head. Don't be like, what am I supposed to do right now? Just say it. Just do it. Be the character. Like, just be out there. And also, there can be moments when you're filming, when you're the actor, when you feel like you maybe a burden on those around you, like. If like your friend is holding a green screen panel behind you and it's really sweaty and you're outside filming in like 100-degree weather in the summer, and like someone's also holding a reflector to block your face so that there's like a shadow on it, and you keep messing up on your line, you're gonna start feeling like weird after a while. But you gotta remember, like, your acting is what's making like the production sparkly and nice. So you gotta kind of not feel bad about that and work to get your best take and be authentic, basically.
Well, and the people doing the holding usually are kind of, they know what they're in for. They've chosen to do it, and it kind of works. That works into as a director. It's also important to just remember that you're kind of working together on trying to create this performance, and so we end up trading around a lot. Like I do directing, but I'm also in front of the camera sometimes, and Ian will help me out during my performances, and it's just kind of a group project kind of happening in the moment where you have people suggesting different things, suggesting ways to improve the performance, things that might work better, and you just kind of have to. It's about working together and trying not to. Right, collaboration.
Yeah.
That's the correct word.
Yeah, the coolest thing I learned in film school was learning all of the parts, so you better know how to communicate with that person that does that thing. So maybe you're not a great actor, but it's good to at least have some acting knowledge so you can talk to your actors better. You maybe don't know anything about sound, but rather than just yelling at your sound guy, at least learn the stuff so you know he's trying his best. Because sound is stuff.
Yeah, just yell. There's allowed to be yell.
Right.
Yeah.
Be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important for everybody to develop kind of a bond with each other. You're gonna be working together for a while, so rapport. Yeah, like it was.
Be a friend and just like declaring nemesis.
Oh, okay. Not what I was imagining.
Better and worse ways.
And especially because some things work better for different people.
Mhm.
So like directing Rachel is different than directing, say, one of our other much more hyperactive members named Jeffrey, who basically just works best if you do it first, and then he can just kind of imitate you, which is actually usually the entirely wrong way to do that with any actor, but somehow he does it and it sounds completely realistic. So
I just get him so excited
That
that
was-
he doesn't have time to think whether he should do it or not. I'm just like, Jeffrey, put the hot dog suit on. Now dance back and forth, and let's do this.
he was the gunslinger in that video. The
gunslinger. Yeah.
How much did that take time?
Communication, I think, is definitely important. We're lucky we work with a great director who we can talk to, and if we have an idea, we can say it, and he'll listen in. And we have lots of our lines that are improv, and luckily Kyle knows when he writes something that he wants to say. And I think it was this video, you white.
Right.
I remember we were on the set filming, and I was like, God, I don't like this line. Like, I don't like this. It just sounds dumb. And so I tried a few different ones, and he kept going like, no, we got to do, you white. And then I watched it again, and I was like, okay, now I see what you're doing.
Right.
But we trust each other, you know.
Yeah. And that's kind of that's why our particular method ends up working, because we have an exact idea of what the final product is going to look like when we start. So we we like all of the lines we end up getting. We like I know what it needs to sound like to then combine it to the complete product.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's basically our method of doing it. So we're now going to direct a couple of you. So if we have our 2 volunteers from before.
Come on down.
We have a couple of lines here.
So the way it'll work is, at this point, this is acting. I have grabbed one fan off the street and had them be Felicia Day for an answer, and my host isn't quite buying it. So I get rid of that one and get somebody else to try again. So I said, I'm going to be asking you what your favorite panel is at ComicPalooza. And you will be telling me, as Felicia Day, or not, that your favorite panel is the one about repurposing your bathroom pictures into cosplay. So I'll ask you, and I'll hold the mic over, and you will give the line however you want, and I'm going to grimace and kind of give it like a thumbs up and just sort of wave you out.
Okay.
We're going to try that a couple times.
All right.
And by the way, does anybody know why we clap? Right. If anybody doesn't know, the reason they have those clappy things on camera is so later when you're editing, you can sync up the audio to the visuals. So you just look for that clap, and you just sync it right when you get that. So you make sure your audio syncs to your visuals. Because we record them separately.
Right.
Without that clap, it's really tough to try to sync it up.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of extra time. The clap, you can actually see the clap on the track.
So,
Yeah.
right. Setting up the shot. So we're going to have you start just off a frame.
Okay. So kind of just like spread
Yeah,
the
take
chair
that,
there
just
like
take
I was
that.
doing earlier.
Right. And so then I'm going to just reach, and then pull back. And if you just kind of come with me back when I do that, and then I'll do the line and lean the microphone over you. Sound good?
Sound good.
All right.
Should we usher him out at the end, or?
Yeah, I was going to it's kind of like it's sort of like, and then you just kind of like, whatever, and just gone.
I got you.
All right. I think I'm on a first name basis with Felicia Day. With
Yeah.
fake Felicia Day. I
Yeah.
think I would be. I think I earned that.
Well, I call her Felix when we're at home. But.
You're a Nick.
All right.
All right. All good?
Rolling.
All right. So, Felicia, there are a lot of events going on in ComicPalooza this year. What's your favorite?
I really like the one that you repurpose your bathroom fixtures in the cosplay. It's really great.
Great job.
They love it. They really love it.
Let's
do another thing.
Well, yeah, so let's do
So-
another one. I think the only thing I'm slightly concerned about is whether or not the microphone is picking that up.
That
I need to do it
microphone
louder.
is not doing
Maybe,
it.
yeah, maybe a little
yeah.
bit louder. You actually did like the meek voice almost too well.
So this is where kind of it's a stage whisper almost, like a stage meekness.
I can't get this any higher though.
The kind of meekness that leads you to go
Could you zoom in just a little bit?
a real person. I sat next to him.
Could you zoom in just a tiny bit?
all this
without
time.
opening this up?
Finally worth it.
I just really want to say.
Make sure they both fit though.
Perfect. That's exactly what she sounded like too.
How's that?
You're good.
Okay, cool.
So this will help a little bit. And then, yeah, a little bit louder, but otherwise that was fantastic.
Can you see it? I zoomed in a little bit, so there's a little less room.
Okay, and then.
So we gotta pack in.
Hey, that's a light and it's hot. Right. Another pro tip: don't touch the lights.
Ian, if you could actually
We just want to step forward.
pull him in, I think probably would be a little bit better.
Just actually pull.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you step in just for 1 second, just to see if just make sure your head isn't clipping the top, because I have this issue all the
Step
time.
over a little bit more.
Right. So.
Yeah, so that's your spot.
Do that
Okay.
tiny
And then so
bit.
when I'll put you in
You
kind of
can
like do like a
without the microphone
reporter
being
lean
shut.
kind of. So just like angle your shoulders kind of. So this way we can kind of
Okay.
stand with a little bit more.
I zoomed out a little bit. So you're
A little bit
Yeah, that's
space and right, so I'll just put you into right here. Those seem good?
Okay.
We're good.
All right.
Cool.
Still rolling.
So Miss Felicia Day, there's a lot of events going on at ComicPalooza this year. Which one is your favorite?
I really like the one where you get to repurpose your bathroom fixtures in the cosplay.
Excellent job.
I think I might have just like my face might have been kind of seething. Actually, that was actually really horrific.
That was the full one?
Yes. Yep, just one back and then that's it.
You didn't have like a specific.
beginning line there at all?
You know, this is the one actually where I go see, because like, so here, like, it just sounds kind of like, yeah, you're really exciting, and then the.
What? Yeah, I think you were actually supposed to do that line first. So,
Hey,
can we
Kyle,
like
can
pick
we
you
cut
up
this?
one more time?
Encore, yeah. It's because I screwed it up.
We actually want to get one take where we have him say one line before he pulls you in, if that's all right. You were perfect doing exactly the same thing.
Okay. Exactly the same?
Yeah,
Exactly the same, yeah.
Okay.
If you want to, Rachel, you
Yeah.
can just say, oh, it just sounded kind of, I don't know, just say the word, oh, it just sounded kind of funny, and I'll cut you off.
Oh, it just sounded kind of.
Yeah, just think that, okay?
Okay. Ready?
All right.
Okay. Oh, it just sounded kind of.
Exciting. Yeah, it's real exciting, real busy here. So, Miss Felicia Day, there are a lot of events happening at Comic-Con this year. Which one is your favorite?
I really like the one where you get to repurpose your bathroom fixtures in a cosplay. Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
You said Comic-Con.
Do we need to do one more? Are we good?
Let me just double check.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yep, that's good. All right, cool.
All right, cut.
Now we're actually done. Yes, thank you.
Hey.
All right. So for our second one,
Virginia.
All right, so I'm a little bit more cavalier at this point. So this has gone on again. That I managed to convince my host that was totally Felicia Day, and it was just an audio problem on her end, obviously. And then somebody keeps coming back to bug me, and I have warned them off for now. And now my host wants an autograph, and I've warned her off for now. And I have one more guest I'm going to pull in to try and salvage this and my career. So I think I'm just going to like beckon sort of like dramatically, and then she just kind of like come towards me like why? What is going on? And then I'm going to ask, so tell us, Felicia Day, what current project are you excited to be working on? And you're going to reply, popularizing vegan turtle wax. And so our idea for this line is that it's completely in a way that Felicia Day wouldn't say it ever. But however you think it's
Which
going to
is
be best.
any way that you say it, because you wouldn't
Right.
say it ever.
I think you're actually just answering completely truthfully about yourself in this
Like somebody
situation.
like you've been waiting for a chance. Finally, somebody. This is your soapbox. Right up until I just push you away.
What is it?
I'll say. So tell us, Felicia Day, what current project are you excited to be working on? I'll lean the microphone over, and you say, popularizing vegan turtle wax. Popularizing vegan turtle wax, which just sounds like a caption. And then, let's see, what is actually the next bit of action? Just so,
On page
Four.
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 Right after that, I rush in at some point, but there's probably a line from Rachel blocking. Like,
yeah, it just cuts to,
Okay.
So this one, you don't even need to get out of frame because we'll just cut away.
Doesn't have to, but you can if you want to anyway, and then we have that.
So I think maybe just like a really self-righteous popularizing vegan turtle wax, of course, and then just stride off like your duty is done.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's try that.
Cool. Hey, go ahead and get your marks so you're not blocking each other.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
So right here, and so just kind of like moving right.
There you go.
You want to,
Probably step over a little bit more.
and then so right here, so just like right that one and that square, and I'll turn like this, like that, and then.
That's a lot better. Right
Good?
there. It's good. So that's your spot when you come in.
All right. So now you go ahead and step off frame for a second.
All right, I'm going to go and roll it.
Okay.
Ian, can I get a clap? And whenever you're ready.
And maybe no, it's fine. All right. You know, that is actually still completely off topic. Whatever. So, Miss Felicia Day, what project are you excited to be working on right now?
Oh, well.
That's
All right.
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
You step forward a tiny bit? Did you
That's
step
fine.
back already?
No, I haven't.
This happens like
I
every
just went
time.
close to the microphone.
Okay,
That's all.
that's right. Cool. All right.
I I feel better watching him since I watched him do exactly the same thing.
Oh yeah, we do this all the time.
Yeah,
This is a very,
we
very
always
common
have to
response.
do, like, a
And so if you ever
bunch
just
of
feel that, just keep going. Just say something. Because, I mean, not that there's not times we haven't used random conniptions as response shots, but anything is better than nothing most of the time.
Thank you.
So,
Alright, let's take back from the beginning.
That feel good?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
so just a little bit further. Good. All right. Ready? You know, that's actually still just completely off topic, but whatever. So Felicia Day, do you have any projects that you are working on that you'd like to promote?
Oh, well, popularizing vegan turtle wax, of course.
That was good. Good job.
That was good. Yeah.
Let's do one more. You need to pull her a little bit faster. I think.
Sure. I'm really.
I need, let's see, I think I could do that little bit, that beginning bit just a bit better.
And then we can try one version where it's like just excitedly popularizing vegan turtle wax. Like this has just been stored inside.
Right.
And it just like comes out.
Like you walked into the convention hall today and you're like, you know what I want to do? You know what I want to do, but nobody's asked you yet. So,
I've been waiting all day for this opportunity.
all right. Maybe if we can.
And if you can get your reaction a little bit bigger as a result, just like.
Okay. And I'm gonna try the beginning a bit different. So can we try 2 takes of this one?
Sure.
Okay. Just because I've been looking around and I'm finally seeing you, so that my first line should be kind of distracted, and I'll just be like,
Okay.
while I'm doing it. Okay.
Still rolling.
Okay. You know, that's actually still completely off topic, but whatever. Felicia Day, what project would you like to promote? What are you here to do?
Popularizing vegan turtle wax, of course.
Of course.
Let's do another take.
Yeah, that was good. Let's do one more of those. Yeah, of course was good at the end there. That was nice.
You know, that's actually still completely off topic, but whatever. Felicia Day, you are here to promote a big project, I hear. What is it?
Popularizing vegan turtle wax, of course.
Of course.
That was good. All right, good job. And then we can do one more. I'm gonna just adjust the microphone one more time.
Great. Just in case that one line is blowing out the microphone, which it might be.
Pro tip: when the director says one more, he means 8. Okay. Would you know that's actually still completely off topic, but whatever. Felicia Day, I hear you were here to promote a big project. What is it?
Popularizing vegan turtle wax, of course.
Of course.
All right, cool. Then we got it.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good job.
Nice job.
Okay. So that basically completes the shots for our video. So thank you for helping us do that.
Yeah.
I have one more for you.
Wait, was I
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to record that? I thought that was just practice.
Only not funny because we've done that.
What line do I still have to give?
We have one more for you. But all right, so that basically ran through our entire process. We do that for about 3 hours, and then I go home and edit it, which is an entirely separate thing.
8 hours, and then Kyle goes home and edits it for 4 days.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it depends on the video. I don't know. We actually manage to do these things in like a total of 2 days sometimes. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. We have one more thing we're gonna get with her, and we're going to have to take all this stuff down. If any of you guys want to stay and ask any questions or talk about anything in particular, you are very welcome to. If not, you can continue on your way. But thank you all for coming.
Yeah.